Well, Gone, I hope you're having a great morning, Monday, all that sort of stuff. I don't know when exactly this video is going to come out. Hopefully it comes out today. I'm recording this on Monday. I just watched the last episode of Game of Thrones. If you don't know who I am, I'm Jay Carteret from growonyoutube.com, teaching you how to be better at, YouTube marketing, online business, and music production. But this video isn't about that. It's kind of about that, but I want to talk a little bit about Game of Thrones and talk about how it relates to real life. And this video may come out, this is a bit wonky. This video may come out after or before the video that explains this kind of series thing that I'm doing, or explains why I'm putting out more content and how I'm putting out more raw content coming from the mobile without being edited. But I hope that brief, minor, non-explanation gave you some context as to what's going on here. So basically, I thought, honestly, I wasn't going to record a video today because Monday is generally my admin day. But I just watched the end of Game of Thrones, and this isn't gonna have any spoilers, but I do want to share my feelings on it and relate it to the life that we live. So it was okay. That's my review of it. It was okay. A lot of things happened that I thought was gonna happen, and I'm not that mad at it, although I'm not pleased with this season. And I think a lot of Game of Thrones fans aren't pleased with this season. And the reason that is because Game of Thrones used to be about, it used to be very realistic, basically. Apart from the magic and the dragons and that sort of stuff, which of course is part of the show. But apart from that, it used to be very, very trenched in reality. The writing was very based in reality. When people made decisions, there were consequences and whatnot. So it was very similar to real life, although to real life a very long time ago, which I think is very, very interesting, because Game of Thrones, the series in the first 4 seasons, was really an insight into medieval times and how people lived back then. Of course, it's not based on fact, I guess, but it is based on the feudal societies in Europe back in the day. I don't know the exact times, but I swear it was 1500s and that sort of stuff onwards. I don't remember exactly when, the monarchy and Magna Carta and all that sort of stuff came out. There's probably other YouTube channels that can educate you on that. That's not me. Not right now anyways. But the thing is, if you looked at Game of Thrones and you saw the plight of the common people in Game of Thrones, the way the common people are living is terrible. Super terrible. You would not want to be living the way that normal people were living back there, the normal civilians like you and me. We are normal civilians of our day. And the point I'm trying to make is now is the best time ever in human history, and there's so many negative emotions out there and negative viewpoints of the world and that sort of stuff. And I kind of want to help you move away from that and kind of be appreciative of what you actually have in front of you. Imagine you lived back then where the lord of your area could just come and take your wife and you couldn't say nothing, and if you did say anything they just murder you. Injustice still happens in the world now, but I think if you live in the Western world, then you can definitely realize that injustice is less so than it was back then. I'm not saying the world's perfect now. There's still injustice, there's still terrible things happening, but it's less so than it was back then. It's less out in the open, less brazen and all that sort of stuff. Now, I'm not a historian, so maybe, you could bring up some facts and all that sort of stuff if you have the evidence and all that sort of stuff. Definitely leave it in the comments. I'm really relating to the insight that Game of Thrones gives us into that time period. And I was listening to a podcast called Philosophize This recently, and there was an episode where the gentleman who was, hosting the podcast, it's a great podcast, you should check it out by the way, was basically he was talking to someone, a waiter at some sort of establishment, and he was saying how in this day and age we live like kings. Like we live like how kings lived back then in the medieval times. Like at a click of the fingers, we have an endless stream of content available to us to entertain us. We have the ability to just go out and get a servant to serve us food and get food cooked by a professional chef and all that sort of stuff. Like obviously we're just going to restaurants and flipping through our iPhones and all that sort of stuff. When you put it in context and you look at it from the perspective of, you know, we've got this stuff in it. But when you take a step back and you think about how amazing the opportunities are that we have currently, and how many conveniences we have at our disposal, and how many things we're able to do that past generations weren't able to do. Even like past 100 years, people didn't really have the internet. Like they weren't able to do what you can do today. Now in this day and age, you can go on social media, go on the internet and build an empire around something you love. And it's simple, it's not easy. There's a difference between simple and easy. It's very simple, but if you dedicated your time to like producing on these platforms instead of just consuming, then you would see the benefits of that. Like anyone, pretty much anyone, if you've got internet connection and you're watching this, anyone can get up tomorrow morning and be like, yo, I'm gonna chase this dream and put in an inordinate amount of work and see results. Maybe not right away, maybe not the first year, maybe not even 3 years into it, but eventually you will see results. If you're consistently creating value and trying to serve people, you will see results. And yeah, I just wanted to relate how, you know, life could have been so much deader. Like it could have been so much deader. And I just want you to appreciate what you have at your disposal. Like I'm not trying to say, you know, your life is great, it's amazing, you might be going through some things, you know, life might be getting you down, and that's fair enough. Like that happens, innit? Life is suffering basically. You kind of just got to take it on the chin and move on with it. But I want you to try and take a step back and look at all the things you do have instead of all the things that you don't have. Take a step back and look at all the things that you have at your disposal. If you got a laptop, you're up. You're up in the world. Like I didn't get a laptop, I don't know, until very late in my life, and I got a laptop off my own means. So if your parents got your laptop or something, or you have the means to get yourself a laptop and you have a computer, you have internet access, you have a phone, wow. The opportunities that are available to you are endless. Like we live in such a time where you could think of something today and make it a reality in, let's say, 90 days. Let's not say tomorrow. I don't want to give you false hope and shit like that. But I think you kind of understand where I'm getting at. Game of Thrones, final season, not the best to be honest. And, you know, it's because they moved away from giving us an insight into what seemed to be a real world until like the last few seasons. Then it just became a story going to the end. Although, as I said, final episode was okay. Will I recommend Game of Thrones to all my friends and family and tell them that they should definitely watch it now? No, I can't do that at this point. I can't do that at this point in my life. I'd feel dirty. I'd feel dirty because there's so many things that went wrong that I didn't like. But I'm appreciative of the fact that I'm able to watch Game of Thrones. I got a TV that allows me to watch Game of Thrones. I got up this morning and watched Game of Thrones. I didn't go on Twitter because I knew going on Twitter would expose me to spoilers, and I'm not I'm not that way inclined. I'm smarter than someone who goes on Twitter to moan about getting the season spoiled for them. Instead, I watched it, and yeah, I was able to make the choice to not go on Twitter, to not plug myself into this endless stream of people's opinions and information. Like, imagine that. Like, But that's the point. That's the point, innit? I hope I got it through to you. I don't want to like go on and ramble. I think I got my point across. Hopefully I can get this video out today. I hope it helps you think a little bit differently about the life that you're living, the position that you're in, the opportunities that are available to you, the things that you currently have that are, you know, in your surroundings and available to you. And I think thinking that way instead of thinking about all the things that you don't have, because if you made the list of the things that you do have and the things that you don't have, the things that you don't have will always be a longer list. Always, always. So you always get upset at looking at the things that you don't have compared to the things that you do have. I don't think you should compare it. I think you should just stop caring about the things that you don't have right now, because that is a way to get in an endless loop of chasing happiness in the future, when really you need to find it in yourself to be happy in, maybe not, you might be in a terrible situation that you're trying to, you know, change and whatnot, but you can be happy in the work changing that. You can find happiness in where you are now, and I think that's what that's all about. Like, if you're trying to chase happiness or whatever, but it seems like it's getting a bit woo-woo, and I don't want to do that, you know? We don't want to do woo-woo right now. So yeah, if you are interested in growing your YouTube channel, maybe creating a business and using YouTube to promote it, then I highly suggest that you check out my free course. It will be linked in the description. It will teach you 5 main steps to success on YouTube and how I was able to go full-time from my YouTube endeavors and all that sort of stuff, and building a business around that so that I can do whatever I want and get up in the morning and watch Game of Thrones like on a Monday. Like, I don't think most people do that. I think they got like jobs to go to and all that sort of stuff and responsibilities. Now I've got responsibilities. I've got to schedule the videos for the rest of the day. But this morning I was able to get up and watch Game of Thrones and not get on Twitter and moan about people spoiling it for me, or stay up to 2 a.m. last night. So, you know, I'm appreciative of the opportunities that I have, and I hope that this video helps you be more appreciative of the fact that you don't live in a world similar to Game of Thrones, which kind of, but you don't live in that specific world. Like, people are coming around, you don't have to, you know, pledge your loyalty to a king and all that sort of stuff, or go out to battle. Some of you might be going out to battle, but you know, you get what I'm saying, innit? You get what I'm saying. Life is better now than it ever was before. I think you should take comfort in that, some sort of comfort, and you should be appreciative that you live in this time where you're able to go on the internet and find out if someone's lying to you in like 3 minutes. Like, back in them days, if someone's telling you a lie, like, how many places would you need to travel to find out the truth? Like, it's all wild, isn't it? So yeah, I think that's also a really interesting subject. We might talk about misinformation and stuff in these videos at some point. I think that's a really, really, really poignant topic that I need to touch on to help people stray away from all the misinformation that is propagated these days. But hope this video helps you out. I'll be back soon with more. I'll probably put out a few videos today, you know, to be honest. I don't know. We'll see. But that's the end of the video. Peace out. So I just want to add this to the video real quick. I know in this video I didn't go super in depth about my opinions about Game of Thrones and the last episode. I think I gave you enough to let you know how I feel about it. But if you want me to get into spoilers and talk about, you know, my experience with the series and all that sort of stuff, if that's something that you're interested in, leave a comment down below, let me know. But even if that's not something that you're interested in, leave a comment down below and let me know how you feel about this mindset shift that I'm trying to give to you in this video, and what your thoughts are on Game of Thrones, because I want to know what you're thinking. It's a big, momentous type of event, so I definitely want to know your opinion. So leave those in the comments, and yeah, peace out.